Well, I decided to cut open one of the old Harley oil filters. This was actually just sitting outside too for a while. This is this filter is the right filter for the 86 to 90 Sportster, probably others too. I got the K&N filter, the standard size one. You can see the standard size one is shorter than the one I had in there, because I found out later on that you can use the early Harley Dyna filters on the it's probably more years than 86 to 90, but I got the Evo 4-speed Sportster, and I was using this one for a while. I was just curious what kind of construction was under it, so I cut the top off, out of the canister, and you probably get, with this longer filter, you probably get 6 to 8 ounces more oil in it, but that's really not a whole hell of a lot. Plus, I also have a a small oil cooler on it that probably adds, I don't know, maybe a few more ounces or something right there. So I went with K&N this time, but it shows you the construction of the K&N. Looks like the K&N filter, as far as the construction goes, is pretty much the damn same thing. But then again, this element might be better. Premium synthetic blend media provides outstanding filtration and high flow rates. I don't know. I don't think there's one thing I know, like if you you might find a filter that fits, but sometimes you got to watch for other specifications like burst strength and stuff. Like obviously this filter is not a problem because it is for a motorcycle. It's for a Dyna, so using a Dyna filter on a Sportster, like this was the early Dynas, can go on the early Sportsters. I don't know if it goes on the 5 speeds. It probably does. So I pulled this off. I cut this thing off of here, right? Little cutoff wheel. So it's got that rubber piece. same damn thing. It's got the element. I'll cut this element out. It looks like it's got the same anti-drain back spring in there. I'll cut this out right now and see what the hell's in there. You can see there's a spring in there. Probably the same rate. Definitely a heavy-duty canister. I guess the only thing you'd have to worry about is the bypass valve strength. But I'm sure it's within specs, because when you're talking a Dyna versus a Sportster, I mean, they don't really run a lot of oil pressure. I think when it's warmed up and the engine's like revving higher, it's only like 20 pounds or something like that. It's not that much. As a matter of fact, that's one reason I don't like those idiot lights. Those idiot lights on those bikes come on, the oil pressure idiot lights, they basically come on when the thing's zero. Because I think when it's idling, it's only got like 3 or 5 pounds of pressure. It's not like a car. A car usually has like good 10 pounds of pressure at idle, easy. The bike the Harley's got, they don't really run a lot of oil pressure. And there's a reason for that. I think it's because they don't want to scavenge too much oil from the bottom end at high RPM, and then the engine will starve because there's no oil coming into the oil pump. I think that's why it's designed like that or something. I'm not sure what the hell the reason is exactly, but there's a reason for it. You're not going to see a Harley, maybe unless you're starting it up in the winter time, you're not going to see like 50, 60 pounds of pressure or something. And maybe if it's like 30 degrees out and you're running straight 50 weight or something, you first start it up. I don't know. But that's normally it runs about 20 pounds. I think that's what it's supposed to be. So they got, so if you find a car automotive filter that fits on the bike, more than likely the canister is going to be strong enough, but you'd have to watch that it doesn't have a paper element on the side. So if you go for a longer filter on your bike, on a Harley bike, you want to go with another Harley Davidson filter that's longer. Like I know the early Dyna filters fit on the old Sportsters. They probably fit on the new Sportsters too, and probably, I don't know. I don't know what the hell you consider old or new. I never thought of my bike as old, because I bought it brand new, and it's an 89, right? And, people in the 90s were telling me that was an old Sportster. Now it's 2018. I guess it is an old Sportster now. It's almost 30 years old, but I don't know. I still don't think of it as an old bike. I think of the Ironheads as the old bikes, the kickstarts and shit. The Ironheads before Evo, or Blockhead, whatever you want to call Evos, Blockheads. They had the flathead, the knucklehead, the pan head, the shovel head. Then he's called the Evo, but maybe it could be called a blockhead because it's like a block, you know, on the top of the head. But anyway, I'll cut this open. I'm gonna see what that looks like. See what the spring is. It's probably, you know, I guarantee it, it's right within spec. But I'm gonna be using these K&N filters for a while, the stock size. I don't think this ever got in my way of my foot on the highway pegs or anything like that. Some people just don't like the way they look sticking out. I don't really give a crap. I got the black filters versus the chrome ones. And I got some chrome on the bike. Like the rockers are chrome, the cam cover's chrome, the primary's chrome. I don't know, there's some chrome crap on there. There's a battery cover, the ignition, what do you call that, the ignition module cover, the horn cover. There's some chrome on there. Some of the bolts are chromed. I don't know. So the oil filter ain't chrome. Big deal. I could paint, I could put a sticker on this. You know what I should do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a Confederate flag sticker on this and clear coat it after I put it on. It'll even look better against the black. You clear coat it with that, just like I put on, like up there. Just like I put on my tire changer. I put this on, then I clear coat it over it with the double clear. That'll look cool. Why not? There's a moonshine sticker going on the moonshine, powered by moonshine. I don't know, high octane redneck fuel. I got a sticker, a round sticker. It's about, it says 100 millimeters. That's roughly 4 inches, just a hair under 4 inches. Is going on the oil tank, and I'm going to clear coat over it so it doesn't fall off, although it's a high quality sticker. I'm going to clear coat the oil tank with some double hide clear, just enamel, but it's a high quality. It's a Rust-Oleum enamel, but it's that double hide stuff. That stuff's pretty freaking solid. I paint all my signs with it. That's what I'm going to do with this filter. After I screw it on, I want to make sure the Confederate flag's in the right place though. And so it's showing, you know. So I don't want to do it right now before I screw it on. I'll screw it on, change the oil first, and we'll do that. But let me see what's inside here for the spring. It's got to be the same rate, because again, it's a Harley Dyna, Harley Sportster. You know, I mean, you're not going to find like a different oil pressure bypass spring rate versus the two filters. But if you found a car filter that fits the bike, avoid using it, because maybe the canister's strong enough, maybe it has metal ends on it, but then again, that bypass spring may not, you know, application specific bypass relief valve. But you know, if it's a Harley Dyna and a Harley Sportster, no problem. Look at this, made in Thailand. Jesus, man, God, I didn't even notice that. I thought K&N was USA. I guess not. It's freaking USA, man. These things ain't even cheap either. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's cut this open and see what it's in there. Well, this filter looks like it doesn't have a bypass relief valve. I've seen a spring, and this is an indication that this is some kind of, I probably got this off of eBay or some garbage. So when this filter would have got clogged up, like this is an old filter, it's been around. I'm going to swap, the other filter that's on there hasn't too many miles on it, but if this filter would have got clogged up, I really don't see a bypass pressure relief valve like they're showing here. It's got a spring, but that spring's not doing nothing. It looks like it's made, I don't know, maybe they're making this spring for another application, but it's not employed with anything. You can't squeeze or crush this spring down anyway. This just has this anti-drain back thing here. That's all it has. It doesn't have, see, that's your anti-drain back valve. That's what this is. It doesn't have a bypass pressure relief valve on this filter. So I don't think this is a Harley filter. It's for a Dyna, but it's not an official Harley filter. So goes to show you, man, you gotta watch the crap you buy on eBay. This was a big filter though, and it's not going to clog up that easy. But if it did clog up, your bike will be starved for oil. That's interesting. Kind of glad I cut this open now, because in the future I might get some Dyna filters from K&N the early dyno, because they fit this bike. But I want to double check to make sure that everything's the same. So, you know, it's the same damn thing. Basically, you can, you know, bypass pressure relief valve. Man, that is screwed up that they don't have that in this filter. So, like I said, once it clogs up, not that that's going to happen that easy. You know, who the hell doesn't change? You know, people that usually Harleys last a longer time because the type of people that ride them, they invested more money in them, and they're usually more older people that probably are into more maintenance and stuff, doing more maintenance. That's one reason the bikes last longer too. So, you know, no one in hell with this filter have clogged up. But anyway, that's interesting. So be careful with this. So if you had the little filter, and you didn't have that bypass valve, but it was like this type, you know, that potentially could be a problem. So, I don't know, with K&N, I think this is still not a shitty filter though, because you could see how I tried to pry off the, you know, I cut this with the cutoff wheel through the fibers, you know, whatever you call this, the paper fibers, whatever they all are. And I try to pry off this paper from this end cap here, and it's on there, man. It's glued on there good. So it's not a crappy filter, but it doesn't have, it has the anti-drain back valve, which you definitely want to have that, because you'd be starting it up like, you know, waiting for your oil pressure to come up for 30 seconds if you didn't have that garbage. But it doesn't have the bypass. And this, you know, this is kind of cool. You just put a 17 millimeter wrench on the damn thing and unscrew it. So we'll be changing oil here right now, so that'll work. Yeah, I did get some more parts here. This is, oh, what the hell that is? Timken wheel bearings. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I got the wheel bearings in, seals. This thing, actually, you don't really need it, but it was only like 20 bucks from J&P Cycle. Sometimes if it says Harley Davidson, it's like 40, 50 bucks. That's to lock up the gear with the primary chains. You can pull it off. Usually, sometimes just use a piece of soft wood from like a pallet. Got the primary chain, 94 link. This is the kit for the primary shoe adjuster kit, the whole kit. You know, I'm gonna get some red Loctite, put that together. I'm gonna screw that shoe on the thing. And we got the 34 tooth front sprocket, or the engine sprocket. It goes on 150 to 165 foot-pounds. And I didn't get no, what do you call it? Here's a 46 tooth rear sprocket. So I'm going to run a 46 tooth in the back instead of a 48, and a 20. I got the 23 in the front instead of the 21. The 23 gives you about 8-9% better highway cruising, lower RPM. This will do another 3 or 4% lower. Most people wouldn't run this, even in a 1200 Sportster, because it's not going to be. It's going to seem slow off the line with the first gear. But I don't know, my Sportster. I don't know what the hell that guy did with the valves. It's got a lot of power, man. It's got a lot of torque. That's the beauty of a Harley, man, because I rode some of the jack bikes a little bit, very little, and they got loads and loads of power once you get them up higher and they rev real fast. But they're pretty damn anemic down low. Like the Harley's got power like from 1500 RPM. It's like pulling like, you know what I mean? That's what's cool about that thing. It's like you know, it's like the same reason you would want a 454 big block in a Chevy, or a 440 or a 460 Ford. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not necessarily how much horsepower you got at the top end. For all practical purposes, it's like the horsepower torque where it's low RPMs. And my bike, I don't know what he ever did with the freaking valves, is that it's got the Andrews cam in it, the 1220 over, the S&S rods, balanced for high RPM. It's got the RevTech springs and push rods, and there's no rev limiter, high performance ignition with the cell coil. The carb's been dynajeted. It's got the open pipes, or almost open pipes. But the cam and the pipes and the carb and ignition, I don't know what, that does quite a bit just over a stock 1200. But something he did with them valves, they're like real oversized. It doesn't even, like if you're doing about 1500 RPMs in like second gear, the bike doesn't even seem to run right until you give it a little gas. If you're like in fourth gear and it's like 2000 RPMs and it's got, you know, it runs fine because it's got to have a little load on it. But as soon as you open that thing up, man, it'll pull easy with this 46 tooth in the back and the 23 in the front. I don't know what the hell power it's got, but the 23 in the front right now, what some people bitch about, even with a stock 1200, because it feels like it bogs them down a lot, it doesn't seem like do anything. I don't know what the hell power that bike's got, but I noticed the power curve is very strong right from real low RPMs. That's why this gearing is not going to bother me. I don't give a crap that it's 4-speed or not. I mean, as long as you can cruise on a highway. I'd rather have a 4-speed because there's less gears to shift. I don't give a crap. You know, I don't mind that as long as it's strong. But yeah, I'm anxious to get that thing in there. Probably not going to have time to do it today. But anyway, I figured these parts came in. I'm waiting on the bearing puller. And I'm actually going to do a video on something here about the bearings that might be a unique idea for some quick maintenance in an emergency. But we're going to do that on a separate video because this video is already getting a little long. So anyway, over and out.